Hanging out with Chris Martin from Loras College in Iowa. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How are you doing?
Can't complain at all. Can't complain. Hey, a lot of people know you because all the success you had as a player, All-American at Elmhurst College in Illinois, and of course your coaching career there. A lot of people don't know that you were a great player overseas as well and also coached internationally. You just finished your first season at Loras College. Would you win 18 games in your first year? You got to shed some light on how you turn a program around so well.
Yeah, you know what? We were really blessed to come into a situation where we had some guys that wanted to be coached. I think that's the biggest thing is obviously you got to have some players, and we had some players. And I think coming in, we knew what we had. Obviously, when you're going through the process of getting interviewed and you look at the job, you're looking at the players. Say, hey, do we got any guys? This is going to take 4 years. This is going to take 2 years. And I thought, hey, you got some guys here that are good players. I'd recruited some of them. And so you look at them and say, all right, we got some guys. Now let's coach the heck out of them. Let's push them. They want to be pushed. And so when we got here, we're like, all right, well, let's get that done. And so the first thing I thought for us, for me as a coach, is say, hey, we got to get a good staff. And so I looked, and we got a pretty good staff. We got a great staff. Coach Miller and Coach Oz are guys that Coach Oswald was in this league as an assistant, as a player, which is important because I wasn't super familiar with the IAC. And then Coach Miller was a guy like myself, a Christian guy from the suburbs, which is where we get most of our guys. And so I knew, hey, we cover both of these sides. And so getting my staff in place was huge. And then the next thing was I got advice, and it's kind of what I've used the whole year, is advice from Coach Mike Rhodes, who was at Rice, who now is back at VCU as the head coach. And he said, the most important thing you can do, Chris, is be who you are. And that's the best advice I think I got from – it is the best advice I got from anybody. And no matter what I'm doing, whether it's a team meeting or helping our strength conditioning coach with workouts and telling them what we're looking for, we're going to be who we are, which is we're going to compete and we're going to do the right things. And so that was the biggest, the over encompassing side of what we're trying to do.
Well, it's impressive because Loras College didn't have a lot of success before you got there as of late, and then you get there in the first year and just set the conference on fire with almost a 20-win season. So, I mean, clearly you've instituted your culture and your coaching philosophies in there. And how difficult was that coming into a program that hasn't had a lot of success?
Yeah, well, we had a bunch of younger guys, and I think that was important. I think right when I got hired, which was about a year ago and a week, I knew that it's late in the game to bring your own players, but we still got 7. I mean, we brought in 7 of our own guys, so we knew that there was a possibility of meeting some resistance from some guys, and especially some older guys. But we didn't have that. We only had 2 seniors on the team and 2 or 3 juniors on the team. So, and those guys, like I said, they wanted to be coached and wanted to win. And so they said, hey, we haven't won in the past. Let's get this guy. And so all of our guys have been really, really good about accepting our coaching. And so that was huge. So whenever we bring some new blood in, and then you also have some older guys that really got on board with us and had our back and the leadership behind it, it helped. And so that was the biggest thing, is getting everybody on the same page, and they did.
And that's the hardest thing to do. And so obviously you've had a lot of success with that, and now you probably have them all believing because you had such great success in the first year. How hard was it to put in your systems, your offense, your defense? What works for Coach Chris Martin?
Yeah, well, we were really good. Offensively, we ranked 7th in the country scoring the basketball. So I'm more of an offensive-minded guy, so we knew we were going to come in and score it. And so that was an easy transition. The guys really picked up on stuff. They wanted to learn. Obviously, it's offense. They get to shoot, and we let our guys shoot when they're open. If you're across half court and you're open and you can hit in practice, hit in games. And so we don't question our guys offensively. I think where the struggles came in was defensively. I think changing to go from a pack line team that they were in the past to a high-pressure, turn a team over and guard at the full court level and deny stuff, that was where it was just old habits and breaking habits. And it was something that we struggled with the entire year, and we had to keep working on all the way to last practice. We're up saying we're doing denial drills and closeout drills and full court pickup drills because it was something that I still think next year we're going to have to break down. And so offensively it was pretty quick, but defensively it was a struggle and still is.
Well, one of my former assistant coaches actually coached you at Elmhurst, and I know you guys had a heck of a program there. You were a heck of a player. You were a big-time athlete. Your coach obviously had a lot of success coaching you and many other players. You did as an assistant coach there, won some championships. But between the impact of being a player and coach at Elmhurst and then also being a good player internationally in Europe as well as coaching in Europe, how did that impact your philosophy and your ability to coach and have the confidence to do so going into season 1?
Yeah, well, you pick up when my last year coaching in Europe, I coached in the second league. I was definitely not qualified to do that. However, they gave me the job Anyway, I'd played for the club, and I was coaching guys older than me. And so yeah, it's true. I was coaching guys that I'd hung out with the year before that were my friends, and now I've got to sit them on the bench. And so I was used to, in a hurry, a lot of tough conversations. A lot of tough guys kicking a guy that's 5 years older than you, kick him out of practice because he's not working hard. And having to do that, I grew up in a hurry. And like I said, I got thrown to the wolves. And so it prepared me in a hurry to sit, in the head coaching job at the college level, which is a totally different gig. But I didn't struggle to have those tough conversations because I've had it. And so that's the biggest thing I got from being a head coach. X's and O's, that stuff, you learn, you pick up things here and there, and there's a million ways to skin a cat. So, but having those conversations and being able to coach up a peer and somebody that had been a mentor the year before, that was a learning experience for sure.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I mean, to have that experience is pretty phenomenal. So, hey, last question for you. So what advice would you give some of these new coaches that are going into season 1 next year?
Yeah, that's a good one. 2 things. One, I take what Coach Rhodes told me, be who you are. Own it. It doesn't matter. You can read books and try to think about what coach you want to be and things you want to use, and that's good. But at the end of the day, you are who you are. And whether it's after the first year or after your 10th year, it's going to come through. There's going to be situations you're sitting in your office in December and you lost 2 games. You got to be who you are. If you're trying to be somebody else, replicate what Coach K does or Coach Calipari or different stuff, it's just not going to happen. You got to be who you are. And the second thing is to be positive. You're not as, I think I hear it all the time. You're not as good as you want to be. You think you are. You're not as bad as you think you are sometimes. But you can always be positive with your team. And we use that through good times and through bad times. And so we ask our guys to have a good attitude and glass half full attitude. And I think that's the most important thing in our first year that our guys did.
Coach Chris Martin at Loras College. Hey, man, great insight. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.